Hello and welcome. In this lab, we're diving into how to implement monitoring in Azure using Azure Monitor. So next, let me walk you through the architecture diagram for this lab and the tasks we'll be working on. So at the center of this setup is our resource group, is the 104 RG11, which contains all the components that we'll be using. Next, in task 1, we begin with provisioning a virtual machine named is a 104.1.1 VM0, and this will be the VM that will monitor throughout this lab. In task 2, we'll create an alert rule. This alert rule will be configured to trigger when the virtual machine is deleted. Next, in task 3, we'll set up an action group that would send an email notification to the operations team when the alert is triggered. Next, in task 4, we simulate a real event by actually deleting the virtual machine, and this will trigger the alert and test the notification pipeline. So moving on to task 5, we'll add an alert processing rule to suppress notifications during maintenance window. And finally, in task 6, we'll explore log queries using Azure Monitor Analytics tool so we can visualize and analyze performance data. So the first step is to deploy a virtual machine using a ready-made template. So log into your Microsoft Azure portal and search for deploy a custom template right here. Next, click on build your own templates in the editor. Click on load file, select the templates and click on save. So create a new resource group, click OK, region West US, admin username. Click on review and create. So let's take a look at the deployment details. So once the deployment is complete, you should have a virtual machine and a virtual network. So the next thing they are going to do is to configure Azure Monitor for virtual machines. So go back to the portal. So right here, search for monitor. And in the overview page, you can review the available insights, detection, triage, and diagnosis. So under VM Insights, click on View. And under Enable VM Insights, click on Configure Insights. And next to the virtual machine, click on Enable. So we're going to use the default settings for the subscription and the data collection rule and click on Configure. So the deployment is still in progress. So the deployment is complete. So basically we have configured Azure Monitor for virtual machines. So let's move on to the next task. So the next step is to create an alert rule that will be triggered when a virtual machine is deleted. So still on the monitor page, click on the alert blade. Next, click on create alert rule. In the scope, select your subscription and click apply. So go to the condition tab, click on see all signals. So the signal that I want to search for is delete virtual machine. This, and click apply. So in the alert logic section, we are going to leave the event level and status as default, this and this. So in the next step, which is step 3, we are going to create an action group to send alert emails. So we are picking up from where we stopped in the last task. So we are still working on the alert rule. So click on next. On the actions tab, click on create action group. Select the resource group. The region is global. The action group name. Click on next notification. So the notification type, email/SMS message. This name, VM was deleted. So select email. Next, click on review and create. So create the action group. So the action group has been created. Alert the operations team. So next, on the details tab, we're going to fill these fields. Alert rule name. Click on review and create. Click on create. So we have created the alert rule and we also configured the action group notifications. So moving on to the next step. So in the next step, we are going to test the alerts by deleting the virtual machine and also checking the email to confirm that it is working. So let's go back to the Microsoft Azure portal and go to virtual machines. So select the checkbox for the virtual machine and click on delete. Also apply force delete for selected virtual machine and virtual machine skill sets. So enter delete to confirm deletion. Click delete. So the virtual machine has been deleted and I should get an email with the notification that the virtual machine was deleted. So I got an email so this is the email right here, that a VM was deleted. Also go to monitor and select alert. So we have 3 alerts here that was generated as a result of the VM that was deleted. So let's click on it. So it will show you the details, the severity, the time, the affected resource, and every other information that you need to know. Alright, let's move on to the next step. So in the next step, which is step 5, we're going to create an alert processing rule to suppress notifications during scheduled maintenance periods. Click on monitor, go back to alerts. Next, select alert processing rules. Click on create. So select your subscription, click on apply. So next, rule settings and select suppress notifications. So the alerts will still fire, but the action groups will not be invoked. So you won't receive any notifications when it fires. Next, scheduling. So let's schedule it at a specific time. Start date. So this date. So the end date, tomorrow by 7 a.m. I'll leave this time zone. Next, details. The resource group, the role name. Click on review and create. Click on create. So this is the alert rule that will suppress notifications during the maintenance period. So let's go back. So in the last step, which is step 6, we are going to run Azure Monitor log queries to analyze metrics and logs from the virtual machine. So still on the monitor page, click on logs. So I'm going to close this. So for the scope, click on your Azure subscription and click apply. So click on queries. So select virtual machine so you can look through the queries that are available. So let's select this. Run count at bit query. So this is the results. I'm going to change this to KQL mode and replace the query. So what this sample log query does is to visualize the average CPU utilization percentage of virtual machines over the past 1 hour, grouped in 5 minute interval. So you can view the charts here. And that's it for this lab. And so far, we've been able to deploy a virtual machine using an ERM template, create an alert when the virtual machine is deleted, send email notifications using action groups. We're able to trigger and test alert rules, also suppress alerts during planned maintenance, and lastly, we're able to run performance log queries in Azure Monitor. And I'll see you in my next lab. Bye.